Controversies and uh, we go.
Come on, bro.
Oh, oh, we should. Sorry, man. Hey, I was just channeling my inner Rebula, Mokoena, the legend. Hey,
Is the
man.
tears running down your eye, man?
I can't cry after that draw, bro. I can't cry anymore. Yeah, man. Welcome to the show. Bafana, 1-1 against Czech. We know we're a bit late, but we're dropping episodes once a week, catching up on everything, all the content. And what an amazing match, man. Mokoena, what a star. A story, a night of three stories, tears in the beginning. I captured one of the posts. Tears before beers, tears in the beginning. Absolutely stunning performance. Gets the penalty, but then he also is not playing in the next match. But yeah, man, Dean, what was your initial thoughts on the match? And yeah,
Hey, I mean, last week we started the episode. We said Hugo Bros had blood hands. This week took a shower. I washed his hands, bro. No more blood. He did what we needed him to do. We all asked back for. He gave us a back for. We asked for. We wanted some attacking players. He brought in Apollos. He brought in. I think second half he brought in Stock. So I mean, can't complain. Look, I would have loved a win. I think we had enough to maybe win the game, but we'll get into all of that. But fair to say, Hugo Bros, you're forgiven. We forgive you.
I would definitely forgive him. But we'll see what he does on Wednesday. If the forgiveness will be a long-term thing or what. But otherwise, man, how are you doing? How's Joburg? I'm out in Cape Town here. It's cold, but I had to put on the Man City shirt.
Yeah, man. Even Joburg, it's been raining today. It's also been cold. I had flu the whole week, so it was a hectic one. But I'm back. I'm healthy. I actually got flu. Funny enough, I got flu last week Thursday after Bafana lost. Then I'm not even joking. And then now I flew on Friday. I was booked off till next week Monday. Friday I was recovered after Bafana won.
Yeah.
I think Hugo was the one who made me sick. Then he
Yeah, man, I know, but I enjoyed the match. Let's say more the second half. First half, once again, we conceded quite an early goal. Same with Mexico. I think this time it was in the 9th minute or the 6th minute. Again, mistakes at the back. The defense is always looking a bit shaky. And but yeah, what did you think about the formation setup? Mexico match. We saw him coming through with a very different mindset. Five at the back. We still continued early. The discipline was not there. We lost two players. This time around, we went back to basics. The 4-3-3. With the three midfielders interchanging there. And then, he made sure to put the right attackers this time when you look at Apollos and Maseko. What did you think about the performance and the formation?
I think when we talk about the formation, look, also Czech is from Mexico. So we don't know if he changed the formation because of how he played against Mexico or because he changed the formation to suit Czech Republic. Because Czech actually also played the centre back. So I'm hoping it's the first one. I'm hoping that he changed the formation because of the way we played against Mexico. But I think, look, the performance showed that back four is our strongest suit, especially because it looks like Mbokazi and Ukon have a good partnership. They look solid enough to be the third centre back in there, in my opinion. The back four looked decent, it looked good. I think it's safe to say going forward, like next match, we need to see a back four again. I liked the front three. Surprised me. Like, he surprised me. When I saw the team sheet, I was like, Apollos is up. I was really looking forward to seeing Apollos play. I saw Maseko. I'm like, okay, another attacking player. But I wasn't like super like focused on him. And then he surprised me. Like in the 1v1s, he was beating his man regularly. He kept going all. Maseko really surprised me. Rhinos had a bit of a quiet one. I think strike our most vulnerable position. We don't have a nailed on striker at the moment. But I mean, he worked hard. His hold up play was really good in the first half. I was really impressed with his hold up play. And then the midfield was good, man. Jaden Adams I don't know why he took him off. Or he took him off from Mofokeng, but yeah, the
Mhm.
midfield was complaining about the lineup. I would have loved to see Mofokeng start. I hope he starts
Yeah,
the
yeah.
next game. But can't complain, man. The performance was decent. What do you think?
Yeah, no, same sentiments, man. I think Maseko also surprised me. I had him in my predicted lineup actually. Ahead of Moremi. You know, a lot of people were saying Moremi should be starting the match.
I
But
said
Maseko, he obviously,
about the match.
eh,
I was also one of them that said Morimi. I never thought Maseko didn't come to my mind. Yeah?
he didn't come to. No, but I mean, he plays overseas, so you know, he's quite well versed with the defense. You know what he's coming up against. So I think I knew that he had, you know, he was going to be able to handle. And you could see the way that he was, you know, driving forward, taking on 1v1s. You know, these days in football, you know, we always crying about where the players that you know can take on 1v1s. You know, there's a lot of you know systematic, robotic football these days, back passes. So I think, man, I was excited to see him just you know driving the ball, and you know, it was kind of like basically the star boy, the creative, the Kasi flavor in the middle. And yeah, and yeah, again, when Rene came in second half, you know, he just added to that as well. But you know, we'll speak about that as we go. And yeah, just to give, you know, the flowers to check as well. You know, they scored an early goal, caught us napping. You know, the defense again, two players were chasing. I think it was Bokazi and Ocon chasing after the throw in, which left that big gap for Mudawa alone against the two players. You know, then they went on to score the goals. So you know, what did you think about our defense? You know, again, like I said, Mexico, we conceded early in the 6 minutes against Quinones, and then you know, again we concede early. Do you think that's also you know causing a lot of issues for us in terms of managing a game where you're already down so early in the match? Now, you know, you first have to get the equalizer, then you can, you know, start showing off.
I think firstly, take those flowers and throw it away, bro. Czech don't deserve no flowers. It's early goal and they parked the bus the whole game. We were the only
Yeah,
team that were playing football. Those guys literally parked the bus. But to
yeah,
answer your question, when it comes to us conceding early, I think one, I think the team has a lot of pressure on them, right?
mhm,
And I think you can also, we don't have a lot of experience. We haven't been in back-to-back World Cups in our starting 11. No one's been to a World Cup. So
mhm,
I think the pressure is a lot for them. So I think you saw it in the in Mexico game, you saw it for sure. The beginning, we saw how nervy we are. Playing out
mhm,
from the back with we you saw like the passes we were making, giving away the ball, sloppy passes up front. So in Czech,
mhm,
in the similar, especially because we lost that Mexico game, see the nerviness and the tension. And because, like I
yeah,
said, don't have that experience. You know, we're not an experienced nation where these guys have played in World Cups, they played in finals and stuff like that, except for locally, of course. So you could see the tension. I think that contributes to why we start the way we start. Very nervy,
mhm,
especially like we're very nervy on the ball in the beginning of the game.
right.
That, that's where you need like your Apollos, you need your relay because those guys have composure on the ball no
Mhm.
matter what game it is. So, but the goal was disappointing. They caught us out from a throw in, like
Yeah,
schoolboy
no,
throw in. They caught us out. Aubrey was out of position for that throw in because they threw the ball down his line. He wasn't there, and then Ukon, I
mhm,
think it was come across, and then we were exposed. Muda was also he was too far up the pitch. You know,
mhm,
in football, like when you're young, they'll always tell you as a fullback, you don't go up yet until your team has secured the ball.
mhm.
If you the ball, if you first you stay in the defensive line, and then once we have the ball, you can go up. Muda was already getting ready to attack, so he was out of position. But they just caught us napping. It was a bit of an unlucky one. They were
Yeah.
credit to thinking for us playing the ball quickly, but they popped the us after that, though.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I think we were attacking the most throughout the match. I think the stats will also show that. And then, you know, with them, I think they played it a bit smart because after that, they were just waiting for any counter attacks that they could get. You know, there was a couple of chances that they got. I remember second half, Ocon with that important block. I think that was probably a goal. And then he saved us there. And then I think if it goes to 2-0 at that point, I'm not quite sure we get back into that match. So yeah, and like you said, the boys are looking very shaky in the beginning. They're still settling into the game, but the other teams, the qualities that they have, they don't settle into the game from minute one. They know what they're doing. So it's definitely something that Hugo Bros needs to look at. And yeah, like you said, some of the players like the quality stars like Apollos, really, the guys will calm down the game regardless of where it is in the match. They're needed in the beginning. And yeah, with the defense as well, it's quite stressful. They look so good, right after the beginning because you look at TLP's performance, the guy was out muscling the big, tall Czech guys. Everyone was saying before the match, physicality and height, set pieces were in trouble. Look at what Mokazi did. Almost a player of the match performance. So you can't play around with that. That South African power. Um, and but yeah, I think onto also the big moments of the match. Past the goal, we played throughout the match. Started settling in. We're getting a lot of bright side on the right side with the overlaps. Rainer's also getting in with holding up the play. And then the penalty kick, second half, Maseko comes in and then he kicks it against the Czech player's hand. A lot of people were saying that maybe there was, not handball, tucked in hand. What did you think about the decision?
Look, it's one of those where you don't like that it's a penalty, but it is a penalty because you
Yeah.
don't like penalty because he's so close. Like he doesn't have time to move his hand away. He's not like deliberately stopping the ball with his hand. But
Mhm.
according, it's a penalty. His hand is it's in an unnatural position. His hand was like this. It's not up by his side. So according
Mhm.
to the rules, yeah. So we can't complain. The rules are the rules. As a soccer player, if you that guy, you you feel hard done by because what can you do? The ball comes at you so quickly. Turning. So it's a tough one, but it's a penalty at the end of the day. It's the right decision. And I just wanted to touch on what you mentioned where when Rele came in, we saw it in the second half. In the first half, we saw a little bit of Apollos dropping back, collecting the ball sometimes. But in the second half, we were actually able to sustain possession and pressure on Czech. Like that second half, we really pinned them back. And I think a
Mhm.
big part of it because we had Apollos sometimes coming back to collect the ball. We had Rele sometimes coming back to collect the ball, helping the midfield.
Mhm.
It helped us like get up the pitch. So I really hope he plays in the next match. I really hope he starts in the next match.
Yeah, no, same. It's an important game. I think it's, the game of our lives. But we'll speak about the upcoming match and lineup predictions. Just what's your take? What did you think about the reffing? That's a female ref taking the charge. I think it's only the second female, to officiate a World Cup match. And obviously they chose us. Not sure why they chose our game. But yeah, what did you think about the officiating? I saw really hugging her there. Mokoena also. I don't know if you heard something between her
Fine.
and the Czech guy.
Yeah, look, I think she had a good game.
Yeah.
Obviously, not if it's perfect. There might be things that you don't agree with, but I think overall she had a solid game. The one criticism or one thing I didn't like was I feel like she was shy with the yellow cards. Those Czech
Hmm.
guys, they were counter attacking opportunity. I think it was Maseko. They pulled him back. When you pull someone's shirt, it's a yellow card. She didn't give the. It was the Czech captain. She didn't give him a yellow card. Like I feel like she was a bit too lenient on the fouls. The Czechs were
Lenient,
stopped.
yeah.
So that's my only criticism. She could have given a few more yellow cards just to manage the game. But overall, I think she had a good performance. The ref had a good performance when they're not the highlight of the match. They're not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, same. Again, like you said, she might have been a bit lenient in terms of the yellow cards. And if you look at Mokwena's yellow card when he got it, I think it was maybe his second tackle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
eh?
I don't think that was a yellow card, bro. That wasn't a
Mokoena.
yellow. Yeah, that was soft. That's what I didn't understand. She gave a yellow card for that, but then she was lenient on the other fouls. Didn't make sense.
But it was, I don't know, there was a transition, the Czech player was going through, there was a lot of space there. I think the pass that he gave, they were getting into the attacking zone. Plus, as soon as Mokoena's legs got off the floor, you're in trouble now.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then now, unfortunately, he's out, for the next match, after saving us, Sotolo will be back though. So, we'll see what Hugo Bros does with the midfield. Mata also had quite a decent game. He also picked up a yellow card there. So I think discipline is definitely a big thing for us. And I definitely think Hugo Bros will be having some talks with the guys, just about in the middle of the park, you know, um, and also getting in control of the emotions. And yeah, but with the ref, I think she had a good game. Like you said, if the ref was not the talking points of the match, then they had a good game, and a good decision as well with the handball. Then Mokoena goes and scores that one, the first goal in the World Cup since Chabalala 16 years ago, 2010, you know. And then he does the Ronaldo celebration, because Ronaldo can't do the celebration. He hasn't scored yet. So, um, but yeah, and
Hey,
then onto,
not too
eh?
much on Ronaldo. He's throwing shots at Ronaldo. Not too
I'm,
much on that. But
I'm just being honest.
hey, they're gonna come for you. Ronaldo fans don't play, yo. I saw it this week on TikTok. I said something about Ronaldo. Yo, they were coming for me.
No, but I mean, yes to perform. I saw people say, the criticism is only coming now of say it's funny, but he's placing himself in the spotlight. And he should be able to take the criticism as much as he takes the accolades. And, when he does well. So what can we say? Um, but yeah, then looking forward to the next match. Once again. South Africa has us taking out our calculators. The cashier stocks are going up now.
Yeah.
Just putting some cash into cashier because now every South African is going to be buying calculators. Our next match against South Korea, you know, Mexico beat South Korea 2-0. That was quite a convincing performance. Mexico looking quite good in this World Cup. They're on 6 points in the group now. And yeah, it's do or die for us once again. We always get ourselves in this position. And how do you think that match will play out? With both two attacking sides, backs against the wall. They do have they're obviously more points than us. They're sitting on 3 points, so a draw would work for them. But we'll be going out for the win. What do you think will happen in the next match?
Yeah, I think it'll be entertaining game. South Korea, they're quite similar to Mexico where they're a possession side. They want to play football.
Hmm.
Opposite to they want to keep the ball on the ground. They want to have possession of the ball. They want to play football. They want to pass it around. So very
Yeah,
similar to me. So I'm interested to see how we're gonna shape up against that because if we come in with similar formation, we're playing a back four and we play our football that we played against Czech and South Korea as a possession side also gonna play football. It might actually be like quite an entertaining game. So I'm quite
yeah,
interested to see. I think South Korea have some good ball players. Their midfield especially, they're very good at controlling the ball during the tempo. So it's not gonna be easy,
yeah,
but look, we have to do it. We have to go all guns blazing. I'm a bit concerned about Tebza being out because, in my opinion, he's one of the most important players. He covers the most distance for our team.
yeah.
He helps us build up. He's definitely better than Impata in collecting from the ball in the build up. He creates chances. He's very very important. That first off against Czech when I was watching and I'm like, yo man, this guy must have 4 lungs, but he's running all over the challenges, tackling, making blocks. Like so, I'm a bit concerned that he's out because we don't have a direct replacement for him. It's not like
Yeah.
Sitole, you can be similar profile of a player. For Tebza, I don't think there's anyone else in our team that can give us what he gives us. So I'm a bit concerned about that. And like I said, South Korea have a very good midfield. They're very good at holding the ball, moving it around. I think we might struggle in the midfield. I think we'll probably have less possession than South Korea. It's not going to be like the Czech game. I feel
Yeah.
like they might dominate the ball. I think their midfield will get the better of ours. But it's going to be entertaining. Two sides that want to play ball. So let's see. It could be an end-to-end game.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I agree. It's also an entertaining team to watch. Even in the first match against Czech, a lot of the goals were being talked about. And like you said, it's quite a technical team, so they're good with the ball. Just like us as well. Maybe slightly better, but we'll definitely see on Wednesday if the team will set up more physical or play to set up to play with the ball. Then definitely they'll need players like Orele, Hollis, players who can hold the ball. And like you said, Mokoena will be a big miss, man. I do hope we go through to the round of 32, so get to see him again. He's a man for the big moments. Look at what he did in the cup final for Sundowns. You know, it's a man for the big moments, and he does it again for Bafana last week Thursday. And yeah, I'm curious to see how Hugo Bruce will set up. What would be your predicted 11? I'll give you guys mine, and you guys can also put in the comments. Let us know what you guys think Hugo Bruce will set up. Is very unconventional. We saw the first match, he went with the 5-3-2. And then he reverted back to the basic 4-3-3. You don't know what he's thinking, the man. He doesn't care what anyone says in the media. He's there with his camp. He knows his players. What be your predicted 11 or preferred or predicted 11? You guys can also put it in the comments. What you guys think will line up as Bafana on Wednesday.
Yeah, look, I think he'll go with the same back four because of they had a solid performance. I think he's gonna also aim front three. I think he'll start Rhinus again and then Apollos and Maseko. The midfield is where there's a question. Does he go? Does he bring Sitole back in and then he has Mpata with Rele as a 10? Or does he go defensive and he says Sitole, Mpata, Jaden Adams? It's a very defensive midfield. So what I would want is that he plays a double pivot with Rele as the 10. That double pivot, I would hope Jaden Adams, Mbata, and then Rele as the 10. That's what I want. But he could very much like go in that defensively and put Sitole, Adams, and Mbata. So
Yeah.
well, my hope is that he goes with Adams, Mbata, Rele as the 10, and then the rest of the 11 unchanged.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. No.
What about you?
Same as me. Last time. Last time people were coming at me for putting Chai in my lineup. I just wanted to see a change and a challenge for the number one spot. Um, you know, but definitely, Williams, he decided to change his game last match. From playing out from the back. A lot of the times we saw him high up, um, around the D where he was just kicking the ball over and playing the long balls, even though the Czech players were tall. He decided, let's not play at the back, in risk of conceding or making mistakes. He was just playing the long balls, and we're playing off from there. Whenever we get maybe a throw in, if the ball goes out, then we have the ball in their territory. And then and some people were saying that we're struggling to get out of our own house, but we're trying to send people out of the country. There's a lot of that commentary going on. But yeah, I was saying Ronwan, he changed his game, so I was quite impressed with the way he was playing. Taking less risks, getting us up the pitch much quicker. Obviously Reina's not the biggest or tallest of guys, but he was trying his best with the hold up play. And then from there, as soon as we got the ball in the area, we're able to do what we do best, play around with the ball. And yeah, in terms of the predicted 11, like I said, man, Hugo Bruce, very unconventional. He also came out in the press conference saying, a lot of people criticizing the team. He got us he got us to AFCON, got us through AFCON, then he got us to the World Cup. even with a point deducted or a couple of points deducted, we feel that Mokoena, when he was eligible to play, he had too many yellow cards. And I pray we don't play him against South Korea. We'll get kicked out of the World Cup, bro. Keep Mokoena, at the hotel room. If we're losing the match, you must start packing the bags for the boys, you know. So yeah, with the 11, yeah, I'll go with the same defense. They've been building nice combinations at the back. So Mudiba, TLP, and Mr. Composure Ocon, Mudau with the rights. And yeah, similar with you, I think I'll go either double pivots with Mata and Adams. And then, Sitola maybe coming in second half, just to support, and then really definitely on 10, he has to start a game in the World Cup. If this is our last one, hopefully not. And then, Maseko, Apollos, and Reiners again, I think he's also starting to gel with the team. That's probably the 11 I would go for. Quite similar to yours. I think if he does go for the 4-3-3 with the three midfielders, including Sitole, that'll be him saying, we want to play much more of a physical game against South Korea, because I don't think they that much of a physical team. And yeah, but we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see the lineup when it drops on Wednesday. I'll also drop our predicted lineup on our social medias. You guys can go check that out, and please, down in the comments, let us know what you guys think Bafana should line up as, or what do you think Hugo Bros will go for? Dibs us out. But Sitole is back. Swan is also still out, and yeah, man, Dean. Once again, Bafana has us having to support other teams on the last day. Hopefully not. We have to take out our calculators now. The group as it stands, the group as it stands, Mexico at the top with 6 points, South Korea with 3, and Czech Republic and ourselves both on 1 point. Um, you know, who do you think is making it to the knockout stages? With your honest opinion.
You're asking me the tough questions here because what I want to happen and what I think is going to happen are very different. I it's tough for us to go through because we have to win and Mexico has to win. My concern is
Yeah.
that people are already through. I'm hoping that they don't rest players against Czech because
Mhm.
Czech wins. It's difficult for us because then now we're looking at head to head and stuff like that. So hopefully Mexico goes strong. If Mexico wins that game and they secure first place, they get a home knockout game. So I'm hoping
Mhm.
that incentivize them to play a strong lineup against Czech. So I'm saying Mexico beats Czech. Mexico finishes first in the group, and then my heart is saying we'll beat South Korea, but I think it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I think
Yeah.
South Korea. I think we're just gonna miss out, and I think it's gonna come down to our performance in the Mexico game, which is gonna hurt us because
Mhm.
one lost 1-A in that game, goal difference, and like we could have, even if we just got 1 point out of that game, the group looks a whole lot different. So
Mhm.
I think just miss out, but I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong.
We pray wrong now. We need to pray harder.
Start
Obviously the whole
recording tonight after
he's saying was pray tonight.
Sunday, bro.
Hey man, we'll see. And I saw the boys were out at Icebox afterwards. They got a treat. I'm not sure if it was from Whatsapp or what. People were saying, only the Sunbucks boys are the ones that are purchasing the watches and the jewelry and the jewelry around, and they're disrespecting the Pirates boys. They're saying that the Bulls don't have cash. I mean, come on, bro. But yeah, I was just checking out some things post match, and back to the log, so World Cup log. Yeah, no, like you said, Mexico, they're already through, so it's highly possible that they might rest some of the big players, Jimenez, Quinones, but you must also remember that these guys are probably out for, awards and stuff. They want to get the golden boot. They want to get as much stats as possible, and you don't know when with your last game in the World Cup. You know, so it might literally be in the round of 32. Then if you rested the previous game and you only played 3 games. So yeah, so you know I think if we're able to keep the match as a draw, um, or not concede a goal, at least for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and the game enters the ending phase, which is the same with the Czech game where we already started picking up properly our chances in the 80th minute. That's when the penalty came. If we can take the match to the death, I think we'll definitely get the goal. And it'll see us through. Some people are saying we need 2 goals just to make sure, because of the third best, 8 of the third best teams go through, so just to make sure, we need 2 goals, and also looking at our goal difference, conceding those 2 goals, against Mexico after the ill discipline, cost us a lot. We have a big mountain to climb. But, I'm sure you could Bruce and the boys are, on top of that, they're talking about that. And yeah, man. Yeah, I think, if they take some inspiration from the rugby team, that, where they talk about pressure as being a privilege, pressure being a nice thing to have, because the pressure of being South African, it's waking up without knowing what you're gonna eat, etc. So, this is just a soccer game. These guys, they know what they're doing. And hopefully it's not the last match. We still want to support the team. I see the memes, they out. I saw somebody cleaning the jet plane, the Bafana jet plane. They're saying the crews are going home. But yeah, hopefully we don't see that. And yeah, Dean, man. Besides, Group A, besides Bafana, what have you been watching over the past few days? I know there's a lot of matches. I haven't been able to keep up with everything, but I watch a big match here and there. Whenever I have time. Always impressed you, or which matches did you catch?
I think as a overall, I think all the African teams have actually impressed me.
Yeah,
Or have impressed me. Look, Senegal was impressed me. Even the match they lost against France, they put on a good performance. Ivory Coast were really unlucky against Germany. Yo, Antingra, I don't know if
close.
Antingra, man, shoot that thing, bro.
I
He had to
There's
shoot
blood
that.
on his hands.
Ivory Coast put on a good performance. Congo as well. I think in general, what's impressed me is the African team's number one. I think we're showing up.
Mhm.
Morocco, told you about Baudi. He had another good game. So
Yeah,
they've impressed. And I think in terms of the other teams, I made my prediction. It looks like my predictions are coming through. France cooked.
I,
Netherlands.
it's only the first thing.
No, it's coming through, bro. You will see at the
Yeah,
end of the
okay.
time. France cooked. Netherlands as well against Sweden. Their attack was on fire.
Mhm.
Sweden. Portugal were very disappointing. Very disappointing. I think I'm sure we're gonna talk about that, but yeah, I think that team needs some changing. Spain,
Yeah,
I was watching Spain match just before we hopped on this recording. They look good now with Yamal back in the team. They look more like confident and better going forward. So Spain, you want to watch, and England impressed me. England looked really good.
got the
Bellingham,
shots as well.
Bellingham showed why he's Bellingham. A lot of people doubting him because of his form with Madrid, and there's a lot
Yeah,
of number England team like Rodgers that people saying must start over Bellingham. But Bellingham reminded everyone that look, I'm Jude Bellingham. Don't forget what I can do. So England's also gonna be one to watch. But most impressed for me was the African teams for sure. I'm really happy with the African.
yeah. No, same with me. All the teams that are against Bafana, because with what's going on, all the African teams are not supporting Bafana, and then
Yeah.
we're also the ones struggling. Um, but yeah, man, same with me. The African teams have been playing amazing brand of football. I think they recognize that this is the chance where I can get to show myself. A lot of players in previous World Cups, they've gotten signed to big clubs, after great performances in the World Cup. So yeah, and I think it's the teams are definitely much more physical than some of the European teams. I was watching the Ivory Coast and Germany game as well. You could just see some of the players were being outpowered. So which is the players playing to their strengths. In an unlucky game there. And yeah, man, there's been a lot of good attacking play, like you said, Netherlands absolutely thrashing was it Sweden? I think it was 5-1. The striker as well, they're scoring 2 goals. I think it's also getting to see the best number nines in the world. Also, young players, some of the, showing off. Um, and Saibari from Morocco, the guy's absolute machine. Like I think the way how hard he kicks the ball, almost as hard as Mokazi. So he,
Mokazi
kicked the ball and eh,
Mokazi flattened the ball after he shot it.
imagine you had to check the you had to check. It's like ref, you can't kick with this one anymore. So Papa Hardy as well. He just keeps going. And I didn't watch the Spain game. I'll catch the highlights on that. Mbappe also, the 2 goals. He's also saying, nah, this is not Real Madrid. This is France. This is where I perform. We saw what he did last World Cup as well. And Portugal, like you said, we'll speak about that as well. You know,
Yeah.
um, and Congo also impressed me. Wissa also with a nice goal. You can't leave that man alone in the 18 area. And yeah, man, I can't wait for these are the last stages now, the game week 3. Obviously everyone has wants to go through to the round of 32. So the pressure will be on. And we'll see the big game players. And yeah, I think let's take a break to get into the trivia. The podcast we like to insert a little trivia. And ask Dean his ball knowledge, World Cup ball knowledge, and South African ball knowledge. And yeah,
Ish. I hope you're not setting me up. I hope you're not
how,
setting me up.
how can I set you up, bro?
Oh, man's gonna ask me some tough questions. Hey, let's see.
All right, Dean, let's test your ball knowledge. World Cup ball knowledge, since you tested mine last week. I think I got 3 out of the 5 questions right. Can't
Got
remember.
zero.
Zero?
Zero.
Impossible. Okay, so who scored the penalty for Bafana in 2002 in the World Cup? The 1-2 that match.
Ah, you set me up, yo. I was born in
Uh,
2000 and asking me about 2000.
Come on, bro. It's like one of the only few penalties we ever had.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna give a random guess. I don't know. Benny McCarthy.
Colored guy. Nah,
Colored guy.
yeah.
2002. Yeah. Mark. I don't know, bro. Yeah, I don't know.
Uh, Quentin Fortune.
Oh, yeah, I should have guessed it.
Yeah, the legend. Okay, number 2. Who's the all-time World Cup goal scorer? Be careful with this one.
All time. I think it's
Yeah, all
tied between Messi and Closer. Miroslav Closer. Right?
time. Messi broke it.
He broke it. Are they
So
not tied?
he's on 16.
Yeah, he's Closer
One,
not.
he's on 15.
Oh, I thought he tied it. Okay.
He tied it in the match, like with the first, that's the second goal. And the one after that was
I think
the 16th. You even posted it.
I got that one right. I still said Messi. Come on.
Nah. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. So 0-1. Um, and then which African team has made it to the World Cup semi-final?
Morocco.
Okay, last World Cup, 2022. Big performance. Who was the coach for Bafana in 2010? This one should be me.
In 2010,
Yeah, for the World Cup, last World Cup there.
who was our coach?
Legendary coach from Brazil. He won the World Cup with Brazil as well.
I don't know, bro. You're exposing me. They're going to see I have no ball knowledge, huh?
I'm sure you know his face. But you probably just don't know the name. It's Carlos Pereira. He almost looks like Hugo Broos with the with the white hair, Matala. You know. Okay, so which team has went to the most finals but without winning?
Give me a hint. What's the number? How many finals was it? You know, 3. I'm going to say Netherlands. Fun fact, the last time Netherlands lost a match, a 19-minute match in the World Cup, was before 2010. Since 2010, they haven't lost a 90-minute match. They've been knocked out on penalties and extra time, but they haven't minute match in the World Cup.